Next up on Classic Reviews, we're going to talk about Alexander the Great, the 1956 epic. Alexander the Great was directed by Richard Rossen and stars Richard Burton, Fredric March, and is the story of Alexander the Great, the Macedonian king that conquered much of the known world. And it deals with his story from boyhood to his death. Now, I am a huge fan of historical epics. I love films like The Ten Commandments, Lawrence of Arabia, and Ben-Hur. Those are the films that I grew up watching, and they will always hold a place in my heart. And watching Alexander the Great, it has all the makings of a great epic, but it slips so far from the finish line. And it's upsetting because for the first hour of this movie, I was really into it. It wasn't great by any means, but it was passable and I was honestly enjoying it enough. However, it's during the second half of the film that the film just begins to falter and just falls in quality in general. I think the biggest problem this film has is a pacing problem. And it's brought about by the fact that the first hour and a half of the film is pretty straightforward. It doesn't seem like anything was cut, and it flows pretty smoothly. And then in the last hour, things just go crazy, and the pacing is very fast, and we just start to skim over stuff, and it seems like the movie's just trying to end at this point. We only get one scene of Alexander in India, and before you know it, the movie's over. Now, I had heard that when Robert Rossen brought this movie to the studio, that the studio cut out about an hour of the film. He meant for this film to be a 3.5 hour epic, and it only ends up being 2 hours and 20 minutes. And it's clear that stuff was cut for this film, and I would love to see what was cut from this film. I'd say none of it actually exists anymore, but there might be something that exists, I hope, because I just feel like if there was stuff there, this movie, it wouldn't be great by any means, but it would be so much better. Now, I haven't talked about the performances. Richard Burton gives a very commanding performance as Alexander, and he delivers his dialogue in typical Richard Burton fashion, and it's really good and everything, but it's sad that Alexander himself is a pretty dull character in this movie. In fact, none of the performances are really that great. They just have really good actors playing them. However, Fredric March does the best, in my opinion. He plays Alexander's father, Philip, in the film, and he's definitely the best part of the film and the best actor. He's just so over the top and just so fun to watch. He's a delight to watch, and when he leaves the film, it's kind of sad because you lost your best actor. The film also has a cheapness to it. This came out the exact same year as The Ten Commandments, and The Ten Commandments looks way better than this film. That film is a beautiful work of art, and this feels very cheap, lazy in a way, but there's moments in the film where people's helmets don't exactly fit well on their heads. It's kind of awkward and pretty cheesy. Overall, I enjoyed myself for the first, hour and a half, but I didn't love it at all. But the biggest problem lies in that just so much was cut out and the pacing suffers from that. It's just a real mess of a movie, and it could have been so much more. I'm going to give Alexander the Great a 5 out of 10. Well, guys, I want to thank you for watching this review. I hate that the movie was disappointing, but you can't win them all. Anyway, guys, with all that said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next review.